Hey guys, today's video is part 2 on the 4 skills you need to hit the ball closer to the hole and hit more greens. Today we're going to tackle the curves. Hey guys, so let's talk about hitting the ball closer to the hole, and let's reference these 4 skills. Obviously, in video number 1, we talked about hitting the ball higher and lower, changing your trajectory. In this one, we're going to focus on the curve. So how to hit the ball from right to left, how to hit it from left to right, but also how to practice it, how to use that to your advantage when you go play. Okay, so I don't want it to just be, here's how you hit a draw. I want you to understand what I want you to do with that, how to practice it, and how to play. Now, having said that, as we talked about before, I want you to be able to hit these curves in practice. I don't need you when you go play, if the pin is back left or back right, to be curving the ball on every shot per the shot. Some guys can get away with that. Most people, your dispersion patterns can be far too wide to do that. You'd be better off just playing a stock shot, hit the freaking middle of the greens once you're over 100 yards. You don't need to be curving the ball to pins. Okay, there are some scenarios where we have to curve it, and also your ability to hit curves on both sides make your normal better. I reference all the time that my own game, I struggle with a hook, right? So I swing too far inside out. I get pushes and hooks. I constantly am hitting fades for me to find neutral. And when I go play, I have 4, 5, 6, 7 different ways to hit a fade, different feels that get rid of my hook, or they just make my hook turn into a baby draw. So that's a lot of what I want you to be able to do. Every now and then, do I need to hit a fade or do I have it as a go-to shot? Sure, but I need the skill pieces. So let's first go over how to do it briefly, and then we'll talk about how to practice it. So we'll begin with the draw pattern. So from down the line, when I'm hitting a draw, obviously skill-wise to do this, I want to start the ball to the right of the target every time, curve it left every time, and have it finish just slightly to the right of the target line would be the goal here. Now, from the down the line pieces, if I'm hitting it there, there's a couple different options. Some guys like to essentially just play the ball back of middle, keep their aim pretty square, and hit a push draw from that. I don't fall into that category. I like to shift the aim parts per my shot. So if I go from hitting a normal shot to a draw, and I have a 100-yard sign out there, I pick a intermediate target or a target in the distance. That's about a yellow flag, which for me is about maybe 20 feet right of my normal target in the distance. I'm gonna line my club face, my body at that, and try and draw the ball off of that. So the piece that I'm doing here, mostly from down the line, is just the aim portion. So I have my ball back compared to middle, but now I have my club face and my body aimed to the right of the target. That would be part number 1 for me. What else do I do for the draw? Well, I just said I move the ball back in my stance. I'll show you that more from the face on, but I have the ball back in my stance. Having the ball more back relative to the arc you swing on helps you swing more from the inside. Doesn't guarantee it, but it does help it. It'll also kick your angle of attack down a little bit. So ball more back in the stance, I'm aimed more to the right. In swing, I am feeling like my club head is approaching the ball a little bit more from inside, but really what I feel more than normal is I feel the club head exiting farther to the right and it exiting more vertical. So this is an exaggeration. It's going to the right and more vertical through my neck would be the feels that I have. If you're someone who fades it, you gotta really exaggerate the follow through direction to the right and how vertical it is. As I'm doing that, I am also supinating my left arm. I'm rotating my forearms. I'm flipping the club, whatever negative connotation you want to throw on that. I am absolutely doing this to hit the draw, to curve the ball from right to left. I'm adding that in on purpose. So let's go ahead and demonstrate one. Aim to the right, ball back, face is pointed to the right. I'm going to swing more to the right, really focus on the exit, right and vertical, and rolling the club face, if you will, adding supination. Let's go ahead and give this a shot. And that was about perfect. So that might have been a 5 to 7 yard draw, landed right at the target. We'll kick a little left. We'll do that one more time from down the line. Ball is back, aim to the right. I'm going to focus on swinging rightward and squaring the face up. Here we go. And those two were really good. Again, for me, I really feel, I normally draw, it's a little bigger than normal. I really feel like I'm getting really high, really vertical and to the right past my impact position in order to do that. So the draw from the face on, the main component, like I said, from down the line, I'm obviously going to be aimed a little to the right. You're going to see the difference in the ball position is really the big take home here. I like to see if I'm aimed square, again, the ball between sternum and shirt logo from face on, I'd put it on the back edges of that, maybe even slightly behind my sternum location to hit the draw. There's no rules. I can go as far back as I want. Here, I like to put it a little bit behind sternum. It's going to be a little skewed because I shifted my aim to the right, so just keep that in mind when you're watching. So ball's back. I'm aimed to the right. I'm going to exaggerate this follow through and squaring the club face. Really high vertical exit compared to normal. Go ahead and give this a shot. Good, that's another good one. Another thing for me, just in particular, and this is something I've heard feel-wise before. I used to watch Tiger do it all the time, which is how it started. When I hit a hook or I want to draw it, I really feel like my right shoulder finishes higher than normal. I don't have as much, I don't hold my right side bend as far into the downswing. I feel like I really keep that right shoulder higher as I'm letting that club exit vertical. We're going to keep that super non-scientific. So same thing, ball back, aiming to the right, really high exit. Feeling like my right shoulder comes high on the way through. Let's go ahead and give that a shot. And those were all really good for me. So that's how I do my draw pattern. Now listen, I do the same thing for all my clubs. I have a sand wedge here. If I wanted to hook a sand wedge, which I don't do often, I typically would just hit a sand wedge at the middle of the green. But if I wanted to do it, or a pitching wedge or a shorter iron, I do the same deal. Ball's back, I'm aimed to the right. I'm going to feel the exit more to the right, more supination, more vertical. Let's go ahead and do one with this little sand wedge Bubba Watson draw. And there we go, a little draw with my sand wedge. And I do the same thing with the driver. So if I had my driver out and I wanted to draw the driver, now again, I typically would draw my driver sort of with my normal swing, but if I really wanted to draw it more than normal, I would do the same pieces. Aim right, ball back, exaggerate the follow through pieces, so I won't say that again. I've said it about 10 times. Ball's back, follow through pieces. Here's my kind of hook driver. And that was perfect. That used to always be my go-to shot. I'd sling a hook off the right edge of the fairway, and I'm gonna hit one more. That felt so good. Same thing, draw, ball back, follow through pieces. Do you get that yet? Up vertical, and my hook off the right edge. Good, I like that. I like that ball flat, I like that shot. So that's how we hit the hook pattern from the face-on pieces. Mostly ball position is the piece that I want you to see. So once you go through and just can hit the shot first, right? The first part of this whole deal is you need to be able to curve the ball right to left. I don't care where the ball starts. I don't care how much it curves, just that you can do it, okay, in the beginning part. If we can't get past that phase, then don't move on to anything. Now, once you get the draw where you can do it, I can hit a ball that curves left, okay, on command. Then I need to tighten how precise I am with it. So how we'll practice this is like this. So when we hit a draw pattern, again, the goal being the ball's gonna curve left. That's what it's defined by, which means because it's gonna curve left, I need to start it to the right, okay? And then also with the draw pattern, I want to eliminate a side. Okay, so part of hitting the ball closer to the hole is when I hit a draw, I want the ball to always finish at or slightly right of my target. Why do I want to do that? Well, if the ball's curving from right to left and it lands to the right, it's going to kick where? To the left. It's going to spin where? To the left. So I want the ball always working towards the hole for part number one. Okay, the ball's gonna kick and spin there, but then also I want to eliminate the ball going left. So if I get a ball curving left and it's already left of the target, it's also gonna kick left, spin left, and work away from the target. So I'd like to eliminate a left miss with this pattern. I'm okay with a push miss or a miss to the right where the ball doesn't curve back. Now you can aim accordingly. So here's how we do this. I have a start line stick in front of me, which is gonna be a little off with the current camera angle, but it's really right down the right edge of the 100-yard sign. So I have a 100-yard sign target in the distance, which is my flag stick. I have this stick on the right edge of it as a start line piece. So when I line up, I need the ball to start to the right and curve to the left. That would be priority number one. Now, eventually, as you get good, what I'll have you do, sort of at an elite level, would be I'd pick a right, like sort of a barrier or a right edge of the green that the ball needs to finish within that zone effectively. So out in the distance, I have a 100-yard sign, I have a 200-yard sign to the right. That for me would be about the right edge of the green. It's probably 40 feet to the right of the target. and that would be my right edge. So I want to hit the ball within those zones. Eventually, down the line, we'll do some videos on practicing hitting to left pins and right pins where this gets more precise, but for now, just the zone. So for me, I need to look out there, pick a spot I want to start it and where I want to curve it off, and I want to get the ball in those zones. So usually I'll have people practice this where they start with a short club, maybe a 9-iron. You have to get 3 in a row within the zone. Once you do with a 9-iron, you do 3 in a row with a 7-iron, then a long iron like a 5-iron, and then a driver. So I have my start line in. Let's go ahead and give this thing a shot here. I'm going to start the ball to the right, curve it left, and stay within those zones. Okay, that started about the 200, curved back to the yellow flag. So that's perfect, I'll take that. That's 1. Now again, I like to see about 3 in a row. So same pieces. Started just inside the yellow, curved back, and I think that's gonna just hang on. Okay, good. So right over the 100, that'd have been in the hole. And last one, if I can do it. Same thing, start right, curve left, stay in the zone. And that's perfect. Okay, so that was just inside the 200 and curved left. And any shot I'm hitting there that finishes 5, 10, 15 feet to the right with the draw, I'm perfectly happy with. The goal here is to eliminate the overdraw to the left, start with the short iron, you work your way through the bag. And I want you to do the same thing with the driver. That's when you have good ball control with the draw. So the fade portion, let's go ahead and talk about how to hit the fade, and then we'll go through how to practice it. So basically, we're going to do the opposite of the draw pieces. So from the down the line perspective, the thing you would notice more than anything else would be the aim or the alignments and the swing direction, really. So for the draw, we had ball back, swing more right, pass impact. The iron for me, the fade, I just do the exact opposite. I put ball more forward, swing more left, basically. So I'm going to go ahead and hit towards the 100, and I'll kind of demonstrate this. So from here, again, I'm not just keeping my normal aim moving the ball forward, I'm actually physically aiming left. You know, if I want to hit the ball, finish at the 100, I want to start it maybe, 10, 15 feet to the left and curve it back. So I'm going to start with my ball and my club lined up about 10, 15 feet left of the target. So I'll kind of pick a target in the distance there. And then my feet are going to be parallel left of my club face, or even slightly open to that, right? So the exact opposite of the draw. So face is to my start line, which is left of my target. Okay, that's a big difference. And my feet are even left of that club face, right? So my club face might be 10 feet left of my target. My feet might be 30, 40 feet left of my target, okay? I want to start the ball left, curve it back right. Club face is not at the target, okay? My club face is left of the target. So here's my fade swing, so that's my number 1. Now for me, as someone who draws the ball, this is more difficult than normal. I have to really exaggerate. For me, I feel like the club exits way left past impact. You can feel like it comes more over the top. Sometimes people take it more outside, going back in the house, and that's cool. I don't do that. I just feel the leftward past impact. Any of those will work. So face is open relative to my feet, but it's left of my target. I'm going to really feel like I turn left a lot with the club, and my rotation is going to be, I feel like it's a little bit more than normal. Here's my fade. So that was pretty good for me, which is the ball started left, curved back right, finished maybe 5, 10 feet to the left. I see too many people line up with the club face lined up at the target and the feet left, and then they hit fades where it goes right all day. Right, 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 right. I want a fade to do what? I want it to start left, curve right, finish at or left of the target. So my club face should be left. My club face should be at my start line. So one more, club face is 15 feet left, feet are probably 30 feet left. I'm really working the club left past impact, increasing my body rotation for the fade. Here we go. And those were both really good for me, if that hangs on right there. Okay, cool. So those are my fade pieces from down the line. I do the same thing with all my clubs. We'll show you the face-on adjustments for the fade. So the face-on adjustments for the fade, the main thing that's going to be different that you'll see will be the ball position adjustment. As we mentioned from down the line, the aim and the swing direction will be adjusted as well. But from face-on, again, shirt buttons or sternum location and shirt logo would be where I typically put the ball position. I want it more forward for the fade, easier to have a leftward swing direction, so more towards my shirt logo, a little more forward than normal. Again, I'm going to be aimed a little left, so it won't look perfect with the angle, but that's the idea here. So ball position is more forward. I'm aimed a little bit left. Again, I'm feeling like I'm getting my swing direction more left past impact, increasing the rotation pieces. Face is 15 feet left, Feet are 30. Here we go, 7-iron. Okay, I hit that a little skinny, but had the curvature to it. So that was good. And same deal, right? So as we work through different clubs, everyone always asks me, how does this different? Is this the same with all clubs? Is it the same with all clubs? So here's my sand wedge. Once again, not a big fader of the wedges, but if we need to, balls forward, face left, feet left, more left pass impact. Here we go. There's a little baby fade with my wedge. Good. And the driver be the same pieces. So I don't change the tee height at all when I'm hitting the fade. Sometimes for the draw I tee it a little bit lower because I wimp out when the ball's teed a little bit higher. It makes me a little nervous. So I keep the ball about the same. I don't need to go higher or lower. Same other pieces apply. Ball position's more forward. Face is probably inside left of the fairway. If I sort of have an imaginary fairway here, it's a little bit inside left. My feet are probably down the left edge or in the left rough. And I'm gonna try and work a fade back. I have the whole fairway to work with. Again, same follow through pieces, priority wise. And that was really good for me for a fade. So the fade off the tee for me has proved to be a go-to shot. So someone who hits a draw, why would you need the fade off the tee? Should you be curving the ball on par fours a ton? Probably not. You're probably playing a stock shot. I want you to have that though. For me, I practice it enough where it got to be a go-to shot. When my hook is off or I need to hit a fairway, I can now line up down the left and I know what feels work when I go play. And those are the ones that I practice. Okay, if I do feels here and they don't work when I go on the golf course, I'm a little bit nervous about those. If I have feels that I've confirmed have worked in the golf course and produced that shot, I really want to own those a lot in my practice. So that's the fade. Doesn't change for any of the swings. So the ball control practice for the fade is the same thing as the draw, just reversed, right? So for a fade pattern, I want to, curve the ball to the right, which means I must start the ball to the left. Now I want all my misses with the fade left of the target, okay? So I want to do the same thing with the draw. I want to eliminate one side. I want to start every ball left. I want them all to curve some amount right, and I want them all to land at or left of the target. Same thing applies. The ball's curving to the right. When it hits the ground, where's it going to bounce? Right. And it's going to spin right. So that's where I want my miss pattern to be. I can then adjust and get more precise with my aim point, and we'll talk again more about missing on certain pins. Now, I have this set up. Now, I just kind of flipped my sides here. So I have the 100-yard sign still as my outside my flag stick. Now I have a yellow flag on the left, which will be my left edge of the green, about 40 feet again. And then I have my 250 in the middle, which will kind of serve as where I want the ball to be landing. I want to kind of aim there, land it a little bit to the right of that, not miss to the right on purpose. So I have my 7-iron again. I would run through and do the same thing, 3 in a row with a 9-iron, 3 in a row with a 7-iron, 3 in a row with a 5-iron, and then a driver, and build that as I go through. So I have my stick in for start line. I'm going to start it just to the left of the 250 and curve it back. Pick my aim point for that. So my club face will be just to the left of the 250 for start line, and my feet will be a little bit left of that. I'm going to feel my swing direction working left and add body rotation so that it curves to the right. Let's give it a shot. And that's right on the left edge. I'm going to count that. Okay, so it didn't curve back to the right as far as I wanted. Kind of a straightish shot, but still in the zone. So let's see if we can make that curve a little more. Ball's forward. I'm going to increase my leftward feel. Face is left, feet are more left. There we go. So that's kind of the same thing. Started a little more left than I wanted, but curved back to the right nicely. For me, again, this fade's harder. I don't expect to hit these perfect, but I want to know that the ball's going to finish within the zone. Same thing, ball forward. Increase my swing direction left. Increase my rotation. And that was a perfect one. So that ball is going to be right about on the target line. So 7-iron, for me, 3 in a row is the goal. Again, you scale that a little bit per your ability level. Okay, maybe you just do 1 in a row and then 1 in a row. You just do 1 and you kind of work your way up through the bag. But the goal is 3 in a row, short iron, mid iron, long iron, driver. That is the fade pattern, how you worked it in. Always want to miss at or to the left of the target for the fade pattern. Okay guys, so those are the 4 skills that I want you to improve to hit your irons closer to the hole, to hit more greens. In the first video, we talked about how to control the trajectory, both low and high. I really want you guys to own that low trajectory, especially as a backup shot. And then in this video, we talked a little bit more about the curves, how to hit the ball from right to left, how to hit it left to right, and then how to practice that in certain zones. Remember with the curves, you want to just create the curve first, okay? Mess around, it's practice, you're on a range. Allow yourself to hit huge curves, small curves. Don't be perfect with it first. Once you're able to curve the ball in a certain direction every time, sort of on command, then you throw in the practice with the start line and in between zones. If you're a more advanced player and your skill level is a little bit higher, if you're shooting in the 70s around par, then you can hop right into that. Again, the idea being 3 in a row as you work your way through the bag. As soon as that gets too easy, how do you get better from there is you increase the difficulty. So if 3 in a row gets too easy, do 5 in a row, 10 in a row, whatever, all the way through the bag. One more time, you don't have to hit curves on the course. Okay, hitting the ball in the middle of the green for most all of you is a really good idea from outside 100 yards. I want you to know how to do that. It'll help your normal, and when you have to hit them, you'll have them. So adding these skill pieces in is how you hit the ball closer to the hole. It's how you continue to get better, both while you're working your mechanics and, hey, okay, my mechanics are good, now what? How do I get better? I get better to skill pieces. So that's how you do it. That's how we practice it. Good luck with all that. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you guys like this video, please click the like button down below. Click the notification bell if you haven't. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And as always, if you guys have any questions, leave them down below.